Hey guys, what's up? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new episode of Jujutsu Kaisen or Sorcery Fight on episode 23. Now this episode right here, wow, I gotta say, that was pretty slick of Megumi, man. I mean, like, he was one of the big highlights in this episode, if anything else, even though the action scenes were always good, So if anything else, let's just get this started. We have two that Megumi, Itadori Yuji, and Kikusaki are handling the enemy right now, but we have two that Kikusaki will eventually get kidnapped by a cursed user or cursed being and dragged out of the zone, while Yuji ends up chasing the blue cursed being or user whatsoever to another place. While Megumi decides to stay behind and handle the enemy, Itadori Yuji tells him if you can't handle the enemy, make sure you get out, okay? And he ends up leaving Megumi to the job, and Megumi ends up clashing against a cursed being that has Sukuna's finger, And we see to it that that Megumi looks like to me he's being overpowered by him, I mean, by that thing. Eventually, he remembers I'm training with Gojo Sensei, and Gojo Sensei tells him to work a little harder, Try a little harder. Don't hold back, There were a lot of speeches where he tells Megumi risking your life, putting your life on the line to rescue someone are a little bit different, whatever the case may be. Whatever Gojo Sensei was trying to tell Megumi, he just tells Megumi to go all out. No need to hold back. It's okay to be greedy. It's okay to want more, that kind of thing. And we see to it, of course, Megumi ends up using domain expansion, which is really, really shocking because domain expansion is a very powerful technique, and sometimes it's not something that you can learn easily right away, or to use it right away. But Megumi is able to actually do it, I guess maybe because he has been training for a long time, but he never bothered to use it, whatever the case may be. And his domain expansion is called Chimera Shadow Garden. And we all know when it comes to domain expansions, I mean, once you're in that domain, you can't escape, and most likely you have the big advantage over it. Eventually, Megumi does have the advantage over this cursed being that has Sukuna's finger, but we also get to know that ever since Megumi took a lot of damage from him, it is draining his stamina at the same time. So, even so, he manages to defeat the cursed being, take Sukuna's finger, and ends up having to be knocked out for a bit. Then he remembers a backstory of how he was a big delinquent boy in middle school, beating up bad boys or bad people who would cause a lot of pain and misery. And we have to it that he has a sister named Sumiki, having to tell him, hey, what the hell is your deal? I thought you said you weren't going to fight again. And Fujiwara's like, dude, just shut up and leave me alone, that kind of thing. Because we get to know about Fushigoro's psyche, how he hates bad people and good people at the same time because they all have their ways of how to deal with things, but they're just making excuses of how things should work out, And we get to know more about Megumi of Fushigoro's backstory, how his father and mother met or something, and later on they end up disappearing, and that he left behind Megumi of Fushiguro to deal with the Zenin clan, drowning in debt possibly, or maybe something worse. Whatever the case may be, his father was part of a clan, and he's having Megumi of Fushiguro as the one to be that trump card against them, And that's when Gojo Sensei met him when he was still young, and that he's very angry, etc. And we have to it that Fushiguro remembers how he treated his sister Sumiki back then, and he hated the fact, and he regrets the fact of how he pushed her away while she's trying to help him out, but he just tells her to F off or just get out of here, you're not my business, etc. I do whatever the hell I want that seems necessary. And he remembers when that day came about his sister doing that courage challenge. That's when she's been bedridden, or in a coma. And that's why he's trying to tell her, hey man, you better wake the hell up already so I could talk to you and we could work things out, that kind of thing. Eventually, Kugisaki meets that cursed being at the beginning of the episode and was about to fight him, and he ends up telling her, hey, you better not look at my back, And when his back was shown by Yuji and that other cursed being whatsoever, I'm not gonna lie, when I saw his back, I had nasty goosebumps all over my body. I'm like, oh my gosh, so that's the reason why, huh? Because on his back, it has a natural face, man. It has a freaking natural face right there, which really freaked me out a bit. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So that's the reason why he didn't want to show his back, because of what's to come. And by that time, we have Kugisaki and Yuji getting ready to fight against him now that he's super duper angry, you know, etc. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. Now he's really gonna like cause some major trouble whatsoever, you know. And yeah. Anyways, this episode right here, Megumi, he was a really slick guy to able to do domain expansion, you know. Although, like, I'm really shocked to see how he could get that far, because I think domain expansion is a very powerful, expansive technique that should not be used, or should not be, be learned very quickly, you know. And the fact of the matter is, he must have been training his entire life as a jujutsu sorcerer whatsoever, and he might have learned how to use it thanks to Gojo Sensei telling him to break the chains, you know, go all out, no need to hold back, you know, that kind of thing. And we also get to know more about him in this episode too, you know, how his father left him and his sister alone to deal with the Zenin clan, you know. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's just terrible. What the hell is wrong with you? And, you know, that kind of thing. And we see to it that that Fushiguro did have a sister that really cared for him and tries to help him out, but he always brushes her off, you know, and he feels remorseful for what he did to her, you know, and tells her to wake up, you know, as he's trying to defeat maybe someone that cursed his older sister, you know. Eventually, you know, after using domain expansion and the damage he took, you know, he just faints or falls asleep since he's really exhausted, you know. And of course, using domain expansion, especially in an injured state, you know, like that, you're more likely to like pass out anyway. So hopefully he'll wake up soon, and hopefully he'll still have Sukuna's finger, but I won't be too shocked or surprised if they stole it from him when he's asleep. You know, that would suck so badly, because all that work he did will be all for naught, and it only turned to the enemy's favor, you know. So yeah, anyways, really nice job to see how Megumi grew and evolved a bit, you know, and to think that if he's able to do domain expansion this early in the game, I can't wait to see what he could be capable of in the future for Jujutsu Kaisen. Although, like, he will have a very hard road, that's for sure, but I'm pretty sure he's not gonna, like, give up that easily. So, until then, people, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Alpha Zero. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot!